I insulted my husband's childhood nanny, so he slapped me like he was Will Smith and knocked me to the ground. I, 31 feet, have been with my husband Daniel, 34 meters, for 12 years, married for 6. We have a 4-year-old son. For the most part, he is a wonderful, loving man, and we've had no problems in our relationship. Well, that is excluding all the problems that have stemmed from his ex-nanny. Martha, 45 feet, used to babysit Daniel when she was about 20, since his parents were both very busy lawyers. She was fired after she took Daniel out on a late-night walk and they got mugged, where my husband was also pretty badly injured. Even after that, he kept in touch with Martha, and still calls her Ma. He is very protective of her, and even when we were friends, dating, engaged or married, everyone told me to be on the good side of his ex-nanny, as she means a lot to him, so much so that he is still financially supporting her. Martha has a daughter Stella, 27 feet, with an unknown man, that she wanted to set up with Daniel, and still does. Even when we first met, she would make subtle comparisons between the both of us, like how Stella has such pale beautiful skin and how I should get rid of my beach tan. How she knows that a true lady is for rearing her man's children, and not trying to compete with him by entering the workforce. You can tell I am not the biggest fan of Martha, even though I tried to like her or get her to like me, but her remark the first time we met made me instantly dislike her. She told me to stop smiling, that there was nothing funny about the situation, and to stop living in a delusion that my smile is pretty. Daniel said nothing at that. Cheers, Daniel. A week ago, Daniel and I got into a huge fight since he bought Martha and Stella another apartment and had them over while I was at work. I won't lie, I called his ex-nanny a lady of pleasure who doesn't even know the father of her child and has birthed and raised another like herself. At this, my calm husband instantly slapped me so hard that I was thrown to the floor. While I was still in shock, he began crying and hugging me, and apologizing repeatedly. He didn't leave me the whole night, so I packed my bags and left for my parents' home with our son the next morning. He has been calling me and coming over my house repeatedly, apologizing and asking for another chance. I don't know what to do. My mum tells me I should talk to him since he seems pretty hurt. Though, my mum doesn't know about the slap. Before this, he has never hit me and rarely ever raised his voice at me. Am I overreacting? Did I cross a line by his insulting his mother figure? I don't want my son to grow up in a broken home due to an emotional decision. What the hell do I do now? Update. I'm a mess right now, my marriage is coming to an end. I told my parents that he hit me, and they were furious. They demanded that I immediately divorce him, and I am gonna do just that. This afternoon, I agreed to meet him, in my parents' yard. He was still not getting it. He brought all kinds of presents, immediately hugged me as soon as we saw me, and offered to buy another apartment for our family. I told him that I'd leave him if he didn't cut off his nanny and her daughter. He began crying once again. It hurt me to see him cry since he rarely ever does. He asked me to not make him choose since he loves me just as much as he loves them, and that I am the mother of his child, that it wouldn't be fair to our son to grow up in different homes. He told me that he owes his ex-nanny and her daughter because if it wasn't for him, Martha would be happy. I was always skeptical why he cared about her so much, but he'd always say she saved him. This was the first time he was saying something like this. I pressed on and told him to tell me the truth or we are over. He just said I wouldn't get it. I told him we are done, but then he wouldn't let me leave. He began saying how he would never sign the divorce papers, and won't let me go no matter what I do. It was scary, so I immediately called for my mom and dad. He still wouldn't budge until my dad threatened him with his guns, and he gave me this weird look before he went away. I was honestly never this scared of him, and had never seen this side of his before. He sounded mad that I was trying to leave him. I just want to get my divorce and live peacefully with my son.